Yep. I do really like the LeBlanc just because you can save your like 1-3-1 TF composition for later in the tournament, and they can pick like a Camille, for example, like they were dominated by yesterday in game number 5. You can figure it out, but still trying to work that one out as well is Showmaker.
You talk about famed champions, also Shiu playing his best, although he's played. Okay, we're looking for the all-in.
Yeah, we are flashing here. Showmaker will just find the auto and pick up first blood. A little bit of a delay because he canceled one of them, but Faker not going to be flashing himself, and he will just go down.
Okay, well that's a great start for Showmaker, who has insane stats here in the mid lane, and we're going to see another potential engage here from Keria as Lucid is very nearby.
Yeah, Hook coming down. They know that Lucid is here as Korea down to 200 health. You can see T1 already backing away. Ona moving into the area as he's going to be spotted as well on vision as he does make his way down. Teleport back from Showmaker as Keria underneath the turret. There's a pulverized flash as the stun comes in. Smash though seeing what he can do as the cow has already gone down. Ona is dead at the same time. It's a double for the Varus. As you know, they have been so far in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great start here for FaZe, who has been so momentum-based. I'm not saying that he can't play from behind, but he hasn't really been doing a whole lot of that in this tournament. And the Varus is working out. Showmaker getting that kill early on as well is another opportunity here against Faker.
Yeah, he's gonna have to flash very quickly, and Lucid flashes after him. That's a very dead Faker.
Faker might just be pushed out of the lane. He does have this wave pushing in, so it can survive, but Shiu is going to be seen on this ward. I don't know if Faker really wants to be here.
Oh god, the Infernal Chain's going to pull him back, and that is another death for Faker. Lucid going to be grabbing that kill as now Pays to be Keria moving on over with Ona, and then Pays in hot pursuit as Keria does have the ulti, so he's not going to be dying here, but he definitely wouldn't have liked to press that button. Thankfully he didn't need to, as Ona going to come on over and look for Keria. Keria looking to get into position once again. There's the pulverized flash as Smash gets himself out of there. They're a little bit split on the decision-making, though, as now Lucid with the World Ender. They're looking to get on top of Keria on this cow.
Showmaker's coming up, too. They are in serious trouble.
Yeah, there's the double knock-up and the piercing arrow to take him down after the ulti wears off, and now they are fish in a barrel. Down goes Ona first up, and the flash out Smash takes hold of the turret aggro. Obviously, T1 are a team known for being stalwart, being able to hold on and find advantages in team fights and skirmishes later on, but this is getting to pretty ludicrous levels of extra money, especially on the two biggest carries here for DK.
Yeah, Doran is going to be still relevant. I mean, alone is...
Okay, well, he's now also possibly just dead. One more auto was not enough, though, and there's the pulverized. Shiu looking a little silly after that one. Well, let's just see whether Doran can utilize the fact that he was able to help take down Shiu earlier on to be able to win out on this one, as he's going to have to go underground, as there is the public execution. I think he might just be dead this time. One more order will finally actually be landed here by Shiu, and he grabs the solo kill. I feel like Doran had a few opportunities to just not do that, but I might be wrong. And ultimately, doesn't quite work out for him either, as now Ona finds himself between a rock and a hard place, assuming Nautilus and Aatrox are rocks in hard places, and that is looking like the case. As down he will go. Someone's dead. That's just how it's going to go.
I mean, outside of the plated steel caps, there's no defensive itemization here for Doran. There's certainly no MR, so he is just not really that tanky.
Oh, seismic shove going to miss, as there's the dash through the rocks from Lucid. He's not afraid of anything as Korea flashes on in. Smash going to be able to find the chains of corruption onto Faker as well. Depth charge connects onto him, but he doesn't find the shove. Decent pulverize is there, but it's not going to be enough to save Keria's life. And now, DK, I mean, they did invest a lot as far as personnel on that bottom side, but where's the cross map?
They're looking to try to push Shiu. I mean, Pays is also going to put a dent into this mid turret. He committed his true shot barrage with the TP, will defend it. Just going to take it back, and Lucid gets the dragon on the bottom side of the map anyways. The second of the game here will be an Infernal. D+ have been a little bit more interested in killing the surviving enemy player objectives.
Faker is likely to be dead here. Yep, the chain is going to mop him up. That is another solo. And I think DK might be able to get it.
Owner has an item advantage because his items are cheap.
Hey, there we go. That's something. As Chains of Corruption going to connect once again. Keria just barely didn't have his ulti back up and available, so he is...
Hang out with the itemization I was talking about with Doran, where I'm like, well, he doesn't have any defensive items. He's not supposed to build like that. He's supposed to build a Titanic Hydra. He's Rek'Sai, but he's not that tanky, and everyone else just gets two-tapped by any of the champions on D+. Okay, maybe a catch here.
They're looking for Lucid. World Ender comes in. He gets a lot of his health back, though, as they're now looking for the fight. Faker going down so low as Lucid dodging out of the way. He is going to be going down, but now they are all in this dragon pit, and it is so difficult to fight this out. Still, they're doing a decent job. There's the public execution, though, as Xiu takes matters into his own hands, and Smash will turn up to put an end to this one. Korea almost dies, but it is not going to be enough. That is Doran locking down a decent bit of a shutdown there onto Showmaker. But Smash will turn up and look to put down the Rek'Sai, and there's the ace.
Khan, you better come over here and stop us, and then we just kill them as they're on transit. T1 aren't falling for it. They're playing too safe, but I think at this point, D+ is like, well, if you're just going to back away, then we will take the Otacon for free. We can set a trap on the Otacon itself. His career is kind of bait here.
Yeah, it's a decent buffer as the Weaver's Wall does come down, but Korea is able to walk to the other side of it before he does get singled out. Showmaker still looking for an angle here as DK look to peel off. Carrier does find the ulti though, and is tanking up a lot of this damage. Now Pays looking for the Nautilus. Showmaker comes around the side, but the Rek'Sai is dead already. And Lucid, yeah, that health bar looks low at the moment, but it is yo-yoing around ridiculously. Pays will get knocked up. It's a double for Showmaker, and that is a much better looking fight for DK this time around. They'll also just grab this Otacon, and Faker, not a whole lot he can do about this scenario as the last man standing.
Yeah, they have the Otacon stats. He is getting close to completing his Majais, as you can see.
Okay, well, chains are going to miss. One thing that I do really like is now we understand why teams were banning this LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Quite a few times, actually, against Showmaker. Not in early games, because of course there have been, you know, some other higher priority picks as the flash comes out. Speaking of Showmaker, he does need to be respected, and Carrier just not wanting to give away his life, as he is so incredibly important. As now Doran looking for a little bit of an angle. They do take down this inner turret as it's another team fight. Carrier getting chunked though as Doran getting a decent knockup, but where is the follow-up? It's just non-existent. Public execution to the backline. What the heck was that damage? It was repugnant. A double here for Lucid as he picks that one up. And I think DK can probably just put the Nexus in the bag now and look to move us to a game number 2.
Pretty stock standard follow-up to a massive early game lead here. T1 made some feeble attempts to come back, but there was a gaping hole in the mid lane, and the rest of the map fell apart behind Showmaker, who will definitely be picking up MVP of this first one. Yep. A dominant performance, 17,000 gold the advantage at 27 minutes here as D+ take the first Nexus of the series.
The only thing that T1 were able to get throughout that entire game was 5 kills. Like, that was it, 5 kills. Otherwise, the entire map just belonged to D+ in every single way. This is one of our most one-sided games that we've had all tournament long, and yesterday, D+ got smashed in the first 2 games. It just didn't quite look as bad as this.
I think what is going to be really critical moving forward is how T1 approach dealing with Showmaker's laning phase, because he has quite a few of these dominant picks that he has been crushing with. The Syndra is the next one that really comes to mind.
I feel like Singed is not necessarily the pick at the moment, as okay, once again, we are, just toying with our hearts by hovering a Taric when it's probably just going to be Nami.
It's going to be Nami, he just typed, and I think that will change.
Yeah.
I think.
Or he could just lock it in. The gems are amazing.
I mean, this has been a thing for a while, but Nami is just...
Every time, Korea. Every time.
Nami's just too good here in this setup. Jungler not being level 6 at this point in the game is not a bug. It's actually just a feature of this composition, whereas Owner's able to come down here and make an impact. Now, Lucid actually tricky timing.
Yeah, here, right in position. Let's see whether he can find the angle as over he comes. Hayes now running away, Carrier at 50% health. Let's see what Lucid is going to go for here as they do look for the Poppy to start this one off. He's only level 2. The flash comes out, and that is First Blood going to the Nami with Aftershock, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go. In this composition very well, unless Showmaker gets accelerated. And so far, it's pretty dead even there in the mid lane, as we do have once again Lucid trying to lurk here for a counter gank.
Counter gank position is absolutely fantastic. His owner's going to be moving in. Now Carrier could be in trouble yet again. There's the damage out of Smash. Is he going to grab another one? Here's the aftershock value, ladies and gentlemen, as Korea wasn't taking any damage for a few moments in that one, as now Owner is looking for Smash. The barrier comes through and he gets behind the wall. Is Smash going to survive? Yes! He is, as that is 3-0 so far. Lucid gets flashed on, but Warrior Trickster and Pays is unable to lock down the kill. Now Battle Nami is looking for it.
He has a
Can
barrier.
he get it? As there's the barrier to come on through, and Smash goes down. Now Korea doesn't have the aftershock and he's going to fall. The Slurkle almost. As Owner is going to move back down towards his Krug camp and then look to clear out his top side that has been sticking around for a little while. As Orb flies forward, Showmaker looking for even more.
Actually hits that Q there. Gets a little bit more of a chunk into Faker's health bar, and didn't have his ultimate online just yet, but feeling pretty good about how that last trade went. As another ult here.
Yeah. Another Skyfall comes down, interrupts the dash there, as now Smash should just be dead. Yep, Paige is going to be able to pick that one up now. Korea in trouble. Will find the tidal wave. Look at that. Can't do damage now, as he's got the aftershock at the ready.
If there's a disjointed back here, Lucid might have an angle, but I don't think so.
Not this time. They are going to be able to hold onto the wave, so at least they're not going to be able to do too much damage to this turret, as Lucid needs to be careful. There are 3 bad guys in this area, as he does try and get on top of Owner, finds a decent amount of Q damage with his Trinity Force that is already put together. Now Korea is just dead, as Carrier stuck around and will be able to take him down. It may just now mean that Lucid can kill him, but Faker will turn up. There is another Cyclone charge to come through. The Unleashed Power comes down, and Lucid tries for some funny business, but it doesn't quite work out
with
there.
how this series is going so far, Atlas, I force on stopping back. Says Showmaker's here.
Yeah, Shockwave comes through. The flash forward from Shiu, as Doran still looking for more, and Shiu's gonna find it. Great gank there from Showmaker towards his top side to even out the kill score.
If people try to blow you up, you kind of just kite back and kill them. He's not really going to be in that position in this game, even though he's pretty much even on items right now. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Step Up's presence does come down. Lucid gets exhausted and is able to flash himself out of the way. There's the tidal wave. As Carrier takes a little bit of damage, the Rift Herald is going to move back towards the pit, but Faker is moving down from that top lane.
And they lost the tidal wave, they lost Lucid's flash. So much tougher to play this fight out now.
Scatter the Weak comes in. Carrier will get the knock up onto Korea, who's...
I think this Dragon, if it goes over to T1 and they get double Dragon, and the fact that Yunara is already ahead, has the ability to sit back and scale, is so disastrous. And I don't even know what Soul helps D+ here if they can start stacking the maybe Mountain for the Scion and the Wukong.
Yeah, perhaps.
See what it ends up being, is they are going to go for a late contest here.
Yeah, let's see whether Lucid can steal this one away as the culling to soften up Carrier momentarily. That is going to be the Drake going over. Double Dragon, like you say, comes in for T1, as the bubble is going to connect there as well. As Smash able to dash out of the way before that Steadfast Presence locks him down. Another Cloud Soul.
I know, it's a T1 Cloud Soul, and it's amazing for the Yunara that has a massive lead.
Yeah.
The lead diminished a little bit. Smash does have 2 kills. The call was picked up. He actually has an item advantage right now, so he'll be at the first buy. They're actually trying to set a trap here as well with Lucid over the wall.
Yeah, bubble is going to connect there, as now the Shockwave is going to come on through. Lucid wants to find the angle as they take down Owner. Now Pays wanting to offer the damage back, but already DK have backed off. They've got out of there.
See what these next few fights do look like. They were able to get a 2 Drake lead, which gives them so much time, gives them so much of a leash, and Doran is going to pick up a ton of money.
Yeah, this is also,
turret.
Yeah, feats of strength just picked up here by Doran, who just cuts down this turret where it stands. We've got a possible ult angle here from Shiu as Lucid is wrapping around. Doran is in a lot of trouble. I think he may have to at least flash, unless he just dies, and there it is. So not wanting to put that summon spell on cooldown, as we've got an ulti cross map here as the bubble is going to come down, but misses onto Owner's Korea. Will find the tidal wave and then keeps himself alive. That was with his keystone, I'm not entirely sure. The Herald is going to be popped here, and T1 still going to be able to find an advantage by trying to take down this outer turret.
Okay, well that commitment was trying to get a little bit more than just 1 charge into the turret as Showmaker's caught.
Yeah, Scatter the Weak comes in. Slurkle there as a 3-man Shockwave is kind of insane, as now the eviction of the monkey is going to be happening once again, and Carrier is going to get taken down. Shiu on a flank angle. Man, I never really associated Xiu with Zion. As Shockwave to bring Doran back underneath this turret. Now the turret's going to help try and take him down here as well, as I don't know whether they're going to be able to take the Otacon if Doran is just dead, but they don't actually see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they know it's being done, but like Smash doesn't rotate over quickly enough here. They are going to commit the redemption. Try to keep them
Gets
alive.
in. Faker will find the Unleashed Power under Korea, and he's unable to activate the Aftershock fast enough to mitigate the damage.
They stop the Otacon. They're unable to kill Doran. And Career is the one who goes down, as Xiu is going to side lane this turret down eventually one day.
I like how sometimes he hits it with his elbow, and other times with a very large axe. I could imagine he'd be more efficient if he just used the axe, but he still manages to take that out of turret on the bottom side.
Smash cannot really get entry here. It's going to take him a long time. They're going to commit the TP.
Speaking of entry, yeah, the Scion making his way in. Unstoppable Onslaught is available. Let's see what they can actually do. Keeper's Verdict gets rid of the monkey again, and that is going to mean that this Otacon goes over to T1. Now Pays gets crashed into by the Scion. The flash has to be used. There's a great knock-up, and he's slowed by the Dissonance, chopped into pieces by Xiu. Is now looking to get into position. Another Q is going to come down as now Smash cuts off Faker and will be able to grab that kill. And now they're all underneath this turret. Xiu happy to tank it up, and Carrier and Ona not long for the world as they are pushed the wrong direction. Lucid looking for it. He'll grab one against his opposite number, but it's actually, he's hit max level here at 26.5 minutes.
He's been doing a lot of being in the side lane and pushing Faker out, and then occasionally showing up and doing big damages in team fights.
Yes, that has certainly happened.
He's 3 levels up.
Yep, he's got his Blighted Jewel there. So
Faker has Otacon.
Yeah, building towards Crippling by the looks of things. There's a Shockwave to show some damage here as Faker gets put down to 50%. The culling is going to come on through as Carrier not really wanting to tank that, and there's the Light Slinger to finish him off.
And Carrier flashes, Smash does not.
Oh no, and now Doran fighting against Xiu. Xiu in a bit of trouble here as Doran's starting to get some work done. Great avoidance of the knock-up does come on through as now Doran having to deal with some big old turret bullets. And can he outrun this Zion? He cannot. He's only going to hit the Dark Sphere onto the Warrior Trickster decoy. And now we've got an ulti in as Ona looking for the angle. Tidal Wave is going to interrupt as now Korea speeds himself up with the passive and is going to avoid getting slowed. Look at him swim. He is swimming so quickly. Great flash forward there from Ona to avoid the Aqua Prison. And that is some sushi now lying on the floor of the jungle. Good ward goes over the wall there as Carrier spots out the rest of DK.
She will do the most damage in the game and will help clean up. But they also have that really strong Gwen.
The Baron isn't as important if your Nexus is about to explode.
That's true, and they have a lot of ways to protect Smash pushing this wave in.
Yeah, well, there is the Grand Starfall as Ona doesn't have a lot of friends in the area as they do try and get rid of the Orianna. She is going to be out of there as Heroic charge does come on through. Now the engagement from Doran comes in. The Mist does a fair bit of work, but Smash is still able to take him down. And Xiu is a brick wall. You just cannot get through him. They're at least able to throw a bit of damage through, but once they overcommit onto a Scion, then Showmaker and Smash can really get to work.
Doran's dead. They don't have the Pantheon ultimate anymore. Yunara doesn't have her ultimate, so it's really easy to threaten Baron takes here. T1, no information.
Yep, and okay, the orb does come on down there as Xiu trying to walk back into this fog of war as now Ona desperately trying to find some sort of engage. Heroic charge comes through onto Lucid, but he just says nope to the Poppy. Xiu is still alive as the Unleashed Power is at least able to take down Lucid, but there is another ace, and DK, I think they've just done it again to put themselves to match point.
D plus Kia potentially looking to set up the upset here in this lower bracket finals. 2-0 start. A rough one for the Runes for Career. A great start for Pays, but it just doesn't hold a candle to teamwork here at D+. A failed Otacon tosses the advantage away, and T1 on the back foot here in dire straits, frankly, now 0-2. They will need a reverse sweep to stop D+ from moving on to potentially get revenge against Hanwha. They took to 5 games yesterday. Yeah. This is one of the best KeSPA Cups I can remember.
Seriously, but honestly, it's not even necessarily that it's the best. It's just the most unexpected.
But like we've seen, I think we talked about this yesterday. I think we've only missed 2 games out of the maximum amount of games we've had. And like I told you guys, I think this goes to 5. I think T1 can bounce back if they get the reverse sweep. How hype is that? the tension that we're going to feel throughout this third and potentially then fourth and fifth games later on, because T1 were so on the back foot, could be insane. And I still think, like, game one, disaster
I want to give
early.
Korea POG.
Game one, disaster early, right? And then you end up with a one-sided game. Game two, had a nice lead, but you make one big mistake. I don't think this is necessary. Like, you should have been able to close this game out as T1. Game one was a bit of a wash. We didn't really even have a game there.
Pays being able to just stand there and take pot shots behind the big burly tanks.
Actually, Anivia was a win.
Oh, it was. Okay, never mind.
Went
As
to
Jinx would be a lot of fun.
Jinx
this also matches range.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx is probably one of the better picks they have left here with the Jax lock-in and the CC setup they have.
And it's locked.
They have ways to get a pick. You see a wraparound here of the Trundle.
Yeah, Carrier setting up the magical journey so he can just get out of there as the Tempest Fate is going to collect this Jinx on the snap trap immediately afterwards as there's the flash. And the Whimsy shield does come on through there as now it's Korea that's in a lot of trouble. He will get taken down. There's first blood over to Pays. Is now Ona looking to try and get himself out of there. These T1 health bars are going lower, but it's Shiu that they're focusing on. He leap strikes to get himself out of the way. And the Q goes wide there by Doran as everyone on T1 is in the area. Pays getting snared up, and now Shiu gonna have to get out. The flash forward from Carrier doesn't find the mark. Get a wall down to prevent and also set up the stun to really capitalize on the stasis. And so now Pays feeling a bit immovable here in this mid lane at the moment.
Smash so much more vulnerable without flash.
All right, Lucid also not going to be able to fight for his Raptor camp. As Cosmic Binding comes in, Korea is over here, does have Wild Growth. May need to use it as, never mind, he's not able to because he does get Tempered Fated, and now Korea is just going to get taken down. I was wondering whether he was ever going to press that Wild Growth button. I'm pretty sure he had it, as Lucy gets a chomp out of Carrier, and the Rift Herald is going to go down. So Shelly, unanswered, that's feats of strength, and that is a lot of power to take this first dragon as well. As Carrier is looking to interrupt Korea, he will be able to do so, as Tempered Fate holds him in position, and Ona is going to move on over. There's a Wild Growth, but I don't know whether Korea is going to be surviving this one. Still, there's going to be an answer, as Showmaker gets in range. Great pillar comes on through as Ona realizes he is not escaping. Carrier could be in trouble as well, though, but look at the damage out of Pays, who just executes Lucid, and Carrier's little bard wanders his way out. Clearing out the mid lane once again, and will be able to get into position for an Otacon that will be spawning on the top side of the map. And I don't think it's going to be the same problem as what we saw in the last game, as Lucid now getting discovered by Ona, looking to start this one up. Does have Pays there for the artillery, is now Subjugation onto Ona, as into the backline goes Showmaker. He does have to flash away, but Ona's already dead. Now Smash with some Flame Chompers is able to lock down Pays momentarily, but Faker gets in there. Shiu has to flash his way out. Tempered Fate is avoided there as well, but it's two flashes out of the carries to D+, and now it's Shiu that's in trouble. Counter strike and a leap strike to get him out of there, and now Korea has to flash as well. They are farming summoner spells on T1's side.
Now they did have to use Doran's flash to get those last few to set that one up with the wall coming through from Faker.
As Lucid not going to be following the Bard. Now Doran going to be discovered by Showmaker. Take two on the attempted kill onto the Cassante, and Lucid is going to be moving in this time.
Maybe this time they can get those resistances gone. There's a timer on this, though, because everyone's rotating up, including Owner, who's very close by.
Yeah, there's the all-out as Owner is going to show up, but that is the kill over to Showmaker. Now Pays is going to get in amongst it as Korea moving over as well. Showmaker looking to try and lock down Pays. The Wild Growth comes in, he gets polymorphed, but it's Owner that takes down this Trundle, and down goes the Jinx as well. Pays finds the pot shot, and there's the interruption on the Realm Warp as Owner is now going down very, very low. Korea going to be the target of the Xin Zhao, but he is going to die. And Pays once again just stands his ground. Korea is dead as the double comes through, and it's three in the fight actually, as Showmaker now wants to be able to kill both of these bottom laners, but it's a Quadra unofficially there for Pays. Gosh, what a ridiculous fight there.
He's got level 16.
Right, yeah, Smash is very dead as we come back.
Hills in this game, mid is open.
Yeah, Korea is almost just dead from that ace in the hole as Ona's moving over. There's the all-out onto the Lulu, as now the fight on the other side has broken out. The Tempered Fate to buy some space as Showmaker flashes on in, but Ona is in melee range of him. Pays is going to go down, so at least Smash gets that money with a Super Mega Death Rocket, but I don't know whether it's going to be worth it, as T1 will kill two in the fight. with the sacrifice of only pays.
Yeah, a bit of a thumbs up there from Lucid saying at least we got one.
There we go.
As Smash, the only AD carry surviving here, and was hoping maybe that he could rejoin his teammates because he was dead, had to rejoin, came in at an awkward angle, but they still get the kill on the Pays.
This
but
Baron
ultimately,
is going to take some time.
Yeah, I mean, it is Faker's ultimate that's going to be taking on it the whole time. I just don't think that it's really realistic for D+ to actually get in here and contest. I mean, maybe Lucid can flash into the pit.
Well,
no.
Can Lucid survive the bard damage? That's the question. As they do need to get a ward over, as that is just Lucid on the floor. Owner says, well, that is how we deal with the smite of the enemy team. And now, Owner is not in the pit for when the Baron goes down, but that doesn't seem to matter as Smash trying to kite it out and is able to get excited, takes down the Xin Zhao. There's the second, as now Faker not going to get zapped, but Carrier still running for the hills. Korea comes over.
Smite from Lucid, they had to take the Baron, so like the Baron was basically an extra teammate for D+ in that fight. It's not going to look like that for the rest of this game, and T1 still have the Baron to now siege a second inhibitor.
And let's see whether it is going to work, as DK showing some signs of life, so maybe there is at least a team fight in them. As Doran underneath his turret, he does not want to be here. He's just dead, as the turret gets turned off.
Shades of that Final Worlds game.
Yeah, that was an odd one. That was a TSM jungler from a million years ago, but that was also a very odd situation there for Doran.
I think they still get the inhibitor pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and she also has to deal with this Glacial Storm that Faker has put down. DK hoping to keep these minions away from their Nexus turrets as Owner. It's his turn to go in a little bit too far, but Shiu is going to go down. Owner now with that ulti running is going to keep him safe, as now Showmaker is in trouble. Faker trying to come on over as Pays gets into range, a couple of autos, and down goes the Rise. Korea needs to really be careful, because if Pays looks at him, he dies, and there's the triple. Is Pays going to get another Penta? In this moment, it could be possible, as the Nexus turrets are going down as well. There it is, Owner actually going to be stealing that one away. It's a quadra kill. Not quite the Penta, but at least T1 stay alive in the series. And DK, they still have match point, but it's reverse sweep territory now for T1.
A very dominant win here for T1. And this time they do not stumble, they do not falter in their lead. They're able to turn this mid game into a smash hit success. And it's Smash this time, who actually is put down completely. Maze ends up with 36,000 damage in this game, but I think the show was stolen once again by Carrier's Bard, who set up all of those early to mid-game fights. The laning phase was strong from him as well.
There was a time where we saw Cassio in the top lane, but it is likely going to be Shiu piloting the Aurora towards the top side of the map. And now Faker, what is he going to play? That is a hover on an Aurelia.
He might have to play Galio in this draft. It's a very awkward one here. The Aurelia is such an inherent risk.
I mean, it's almost unplayable into Cassiopeia, isn't it? Oh no, the Mel.
Mel is 0-8 this tournament.
Oh, it's Akali in the end. Oh my goodness, okay. Well, Miasma's gonna have to be placed.
I mean, Showmaker was trying to push the advantage so that Lucid could make that play and Faker could not impact. Career is here, has flash for a potential engage. And it feels like we are on the edge of our seats for every possible second in this mid lane.
Yeah. And
Owner is actually going to wrap around here, I think, off Scuttle Vision.
Oh, Shiu is so dead. There's the flash, and that's just a solo bolo. Doran's able to pick that one up. Not sure what Shiu was really thinking there.
Given so much topside control that T1 are going to be able to start these grubs off. Owner can get the first one without a smite, so that's practically a 2 out of 3 guaranteed.
Yeah, Faker also is going to start bleeding there as Lucid throwing through these daggers.
TP.
Yeah, there is. Oh, the Vault Breaker into the cease and desist is now Lucid trying to flash his way out. Faker will be able to find the doggo though, and now Showmaker finds himself in melee range. The ulti doesn't quite work, but Owner is still very, very low. Showmaker flashes away, but it's the ghouls that pick up the Snake Lady, and there is the quickness to take down Smash. He does manage to pull the feathers back, but there it is, the Morning Mist, and down goes the Xayah. These ghouls are being real pesky, and I think have a bunch of friends in the area as well. See where the Faker is going to take the bait. As Shiu now towards his bottom side, he's got friends coming over as well, and this is dangerous.
I mean, Showmaker doesn't have TP, he is in danger.
Yeah, Between Worlds comes in, there's cease and desist to Shiu. able to flash his way out, but Morgul's being annoying, and there is 4-0-1, 100% kill contribution here for Doran. A lot of damage themselves. They got a Cassiopeia moving down. So
Doran has TP, and also if he doesn't TP, that turret is gone. He is going to TP now, though.
Yeah, Faker is moving in at the perfect timing as well. As Owner is going to make this a 50-50. We'll see whether they can steal this away. It is going to be Lucid that picks it up. A cease and desist onto Showmaker. He gets knocked up. Between Worlds comes in, and down goes the Snake. Perfect execution from Faker as it is just a wash. She is trying to get himself out, but the Ghouls will not relent. And now it is Smash against the world. He's got a Feather Storm, but unfortunately it's a triple for Pays and nothing for DK.
I'll put a stamp on that.
That he has not caught up as Faker looking for a little bit of an angle here as he does throw down the ulti. The Redemption's in there as well as Lucid looking to come on over. Faker is just going to leave. There's the ult out from Lucid though, looking to take down this Akali. He gets smoked as now Korea looks for a bit of an angle, and now Sheer goes between worlds. They really want to kill Faker, and they might be able to do that. I just don't think that it's going to really have much of an effect on the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and can they defend their inhibitor turret is the other question. It looks like Doran's instead going to rotate over here to help the control of the jungle, and he might even be able to look for a fight here.
Yeah, cease and desist comes down. There's the Nefiri just dead on the floor. As Doran's going to rotate in, Korea takes one auto and realizes that he cannot be anywhere near this Yorick as Doran is moving in once again. There's a Magnet Storm as they do get the shutdown onto this Yorick. Smash now looking for a little bit more.
Yep. Yeah, the fact that Smash is able to get both shutdowns means that maybe if the circumstances are right, they can make something happen here. They are rotating over to deny this Otacon, and T1 I think wisely will back away, but Doran is pushing. Xiu needs to answer that at the same time.
How is this ward unseen by that controller? It's actually kind of crazy. As, yeah, you were saying, Doran is underneath the turret. The turret does get mad at him, but he may just kill it. As Doran, let's see whether he can survive. A few of these buttons are connecting here by Xiu, but we are going to check out this fight towards the top side of the map instead.
I mean, if Xiu dies, they could almost end the game with Doran, even though he's low health. As here comes the engage.
Carrier pops the quickness. They look for Lucid, who does get dove on. Carrier still going to be in a lot of trouble, though, as down goes the Rakan. Still, the Otacon will be picked up by T1. In this fight, though, T1 is still looking for an angle, and Lucid is very low. Smash will get on top of Ona. Cease and desist comes down, and there is the kill onto the one man with money here on D+. Showmaker does look for the petrifying gaze, but Pays is not going to be too worried about it. He picks up a double. All right, another fight is going to break out here as Career is in a lot of trouble. Pays and Smash going to be fighting, but it is going to be Smash that wins out in the end. Still, the main carry is going to be Doran, and let's see what he can do. Is now 1 versus 4, but he picks up a double already. He is going to be taken out as now Smash is trying to deal with the GOAT, and the GOAT is going to win that time. It's a double here for the Akali as T1. They have carries everywhere, and Xiu not going to be able to do anything about this one. 2
waves of super minions crashing into the base as well. Xiu just trying to get out to buy time.
Yeah, the flash is going to be able to get him to relative safety, but the Vault Breaker gets Ona into the base of DK. Cease and desist is not there, though, and there is the Vault Breaker as Ona. Yeah, that's going to be a bridge too far. And maybe they need to give this up so there's a potential Elder Flip angle.
I mean, or that maybe there's a Baron in their future that they have to defend on the other side of the map, because if T1 get the Baron with these 2 inhibitors down, they just end the game.
All right,
Xiu!
Well, there is Carrier going down. Xiu actually finding a lot of damage there, and Smash picks up the kill. So that's good. We're going to say that that's positive, but Career is now taking so much damage. Doran is the main carry, we have to remember. Magnet Storm connects onto 2 as the ulti comes down from Showmaker. Does do a lot of work to soften them up, and it is Doran that's going to be falling, but the main carry is going to be Pays this time as he picks up a triple. They look for more. It's Faker that is able to grab another one. It's a full house. Pays full of Faker. And T1, I think, will just end this game here and send us to 5.
5 games again. We have still only missed 2 of the maximum amount of games we could have here at KeSPA Cup 2025. We go the distance again. T1 bringing us to a 5th and final. They've already brought themselves to a top 3, but they're looking for, in this final game, the win to bring them to their first KeSPA Cup finals.
And it's kind of crazy. The last time that I was like really excited about a T1 roster in the KeSPA Cup, because oftentimes they haven't actually brought the main roster, right, was when in 2019 they had like that super team put together when Mata was on the roster alongside Teddy. I believe they had Khan on the top side. The Kiana can definitely get a lot of work done. So you can understand that. And Showmaker already made Scout look silly on his Galio earlier on. Is now Doran thinking about one of his old favorites in the Gragas. But we'll see where he actually does decide to land.
Because it's so hard to kill this champion without sustained damage. They have no sustained damage, like literally 0 on the side of D+. They have the burst from the Ziggs. They have single target CC that will allow the Ziggs to drop a bomb on whoever gets caught and then blow them up. Problem is you're trying to blow up Galio, Jarvan, Olaf, and a Kalista with bailout. At the end of the day, though, still going to be a nice bounce back here for what was a tough lane. Showmaker's laning phases, we've talked about it over the entirety of this tournament, and in this early part of this matchup into the melee Galio, he is generating a small lead, but he is going to have to be huge, and here comes Owner.
Yeah, there is full information here as the Hextech Minefield does come down. The Flash doesn't get the knock up onto Smash, who does have that satchel in order to get himself out. It is going to be the bailout coming through, but First Blood going over to Pays is immediately answered there by Korea. Still, it's not where you want the money. Oh, Lucid!
The laning phase woes will continue here on the bottom side of the map because the kill went over to the Leona and Berserker's Greaves on the return here for Pays.
Yep. Shu having a better time now that he has hit level 3 especially is very important for the Renekton. As now he's going in, looking for Doran. He slices, dices, and it's a solo! That's going to be Feats of Warfare, and Shu manages to make it happen. This is less of a gamble. He is just playing exceptionally well, as he has been known to, as now Lucid spots this dragon getting taken down. There's the snare as he looks to go in. Grand entrance. Going to come on through, or the heroic version, I might add, as that is going to be the Drake secured. Great charm onto Carrier, as there is the bailout on top of him. Flash out of the way there as Showmaker is able to grab that kill. Now Career is in trouble. Lucid dashing around, sidestepping the knock up there as Showmaker, as Lucid being so tricky, goes into the stealth and is able to keep himself alive. And now Pays in a little bit of trouble, but now looks to turn it around. There it is. Smash, do you have any buttons? The answer is no, but he does have a short fuse. Lucid able to help out as he gives a thumbs up to Faker, and the justice is delivered. As we're seeing Lucid wrapping around though, looking for another opportunity, as there is the supreme display of talent. Pays not going to get bailed out of this one, as it's a beautiful satchel to hold Carrier in position as well.
In this bottom side of the map, and we'll get maybe even a plate as well on top of it. The snowball needs to keep rolling.
Shiyu going in once again. Dominus comes down. There's a teleport in from Carrier to this top lane as Ona coming on through. That is going to be now Lucid put inside this Cataclysm, and he's going to get taunted up and destroyed. Faker kills him one more time to bring T1 back to parity as best they can. It's still 1,000 gold the advantage.
Yeah, that is a lot of burst. Like, the earlier you are in the game, like, yes, the Ziggs gets more AP later and gets a little bit more burst later, but everyone becomes so much harder to kill, and there's so much sustain.
Doran doesn't win this. Level 11 here for Shu, has a higher level on that Dominus. Hasn't actually pressed that button just yet, as there's a supreme display of talent. Mega Inferno Bomb. The combo's big! As there's the handshake, Satchel to throw them around as, oh, the bouncing bomb! And down goes Carrier. Fate's call actually just wasn't pressed, as now Faker makes his way in, but the heroic entrance is not really going to be helping here as Spirit Rush comes through from Showmaker, and they land the charm this time. Ona.
We haven't seen Doran in fights just yet, and when he starts to show up for 5v5s, it is going to be a very different story than what we have seen in these last few.
Yeah, handshake is going to pull Career over. Does have the Eclipse available. Smash now moving in. Bouncing bomb, not going to find the value, as DK will back away, but now Minefield comes on down. Career going for the engage. Mega Inferno Bomb doing a bunch of work, but now Pays able to hop mad, and Career going to be going down first. Shiu now with the Dominus running, and these health bars are not the largest. He flashes, and the Culvermeek to wipe out Carrier. There's a gorgeous charm onto Pays. He's down, and the Ragnarok, I think it's Valhalla for you, Doran, as the double kill comes in for Shiu. And DK, as Shiu is going to discover a gargoyle and feel kind of all right about it. And this dragon, if T1 can get it, Soul Point could be very important.
It's so incredibly strong for this Kalista.
And the Olaf.
Yeah. And here's a Herald drop here to try to gain some control over this fight. It's actually the team fight Herald that we do see from time to time that looks like they were considering. Engage from Owner.
It's Smash that actually rides the Herald into Doran. Let's see whether he can get a few extra knockups as he does. There is the supreme display of talent there from Lucid as well as FaZe. Mega Inferno Bomb, and he's down to the bailout already. It's Showmaker that's able to lock that one up as now Shiu gets in there, and he is a walking blender. DK just tear them apart, and it's only Faker left alive.
And the engage coming through from Owner isn't onto the Ziggs, and Smash takes the Herald, which seems kind of silly at first and almost counterintuitive. This Faker.
Oh dear, there's the charm, and down he will go. That is the ace.
I think D+ have done it. Lucid is going to be traded back here, but this is another inner going down. D+, immense.
Whoa, Showmaker. I think he's dead. They're trying to give the kill over to FaZe. Charm is going to connect. He is able to cleanse that one off and picks up the kill.
They just keep taking more and more chip. The more they take, the more the Otacon tape becomes reasonable. The more they walk away, the less control they have for a contest. And so they just kind of chip. T1 run with their tail between their legs, and D+ get a free Otacon. Late contest coming through here, but can they actually close the gap? It's going to be so challenging as look at the damage from Smash.
Yeah, Shiu on a flank angle as well. All of the vision has been mitigated. There is a ward now that is going to see the Crocodile, as that's a great handshake onto Korea. He is likely to go down as the Solar Flare does connect. My God, the AoE damage as Mega Inferno Bomb comes through. The Supreme Display of Talent does barely anything at all though, but now Shiu gets in there and just tears them all apart. He might be going down though, as FaZe stays alive. He picks up a triple, and Showmaker, he has to connect a charm or something if he wants to take this, but it does not work. It's a Quadra, and it's only Smash left alive. FaZe, can you take him down? The answer is no, because Faker is going to kill him already.
And that's
DK,
Otacon.
I think they may have thrown it away.
I think they may have as well. And this is exactly how T1 was always going to win these team fights, as the extended Kalista pays.
Who has Wit's End now completed against the 2 AP carries. All right, outer turret now going to be taken. That gold lead shrinking ever further. There's the Cataclysm onto Smash as the rest of T1 looking to make their way over. And down will go the Ziggs. FaZe eats the honey fruit. They do need to be careful of this Hextech minefield that still does some damage. But T1, they are not letting go of this game.
No, they are certainly not. And I think they are in full control of it. They still have a gold deficit, but I think they are massively ahead now. They just got a ton of turrets off of the map. And you can see that with the map control they have, they can just constantly take fights the way they want to. Career pushed away. Shiu desperately trying to clear this wave. This turret is not long for this world. And if they stick around, they may be in for more.
Yeah, there's the Solar Flare. It's going to slow down a few of them. Hostile takeover is fantastic, though, as there is Showmaker down already. And the Crocodile cannot do anything. FaZe on this Kalista is looking for even more. The minions have worn off, so or at least all died, so there's not going to be a turret take here as we look for a little bit of a back. And now Lucid coming on over. They're a little bit split off now as Smash has turned back up again.
They had the lead. Like, it felt like they actually did everything that they could. The impossible was completed. Like, D+ had this game in the bag. And why build damage when if they can never kill you, it doesn't matter? Well,
FaZe, can he actually stay alive? That's the question, as Showmaker is almost just straight up dead. There is going to be the bailout, and it actually works out as FaZe manages to survive! He flashes out at the last second after Keria saves his life. And DK, they threw the kitchen sink at them. Lucid is trying to get something back. He kills Keria, but that doesn't do nearly enough. And it's only Smash left alive now. T1 may just march themselves towards a best of 5 against Harmon Life Esports in the final.
Smash is going to try to use what wave clear he can to thin this wave out. The next one is far away. Inhibitor will go down, but he has enough to keep the game going. He doesn't care, and this is Baron now for T1. One more Hail Mary here for D+. Their jungler isn't here, but they need to win the fight.
Yeah, Baron is going to get taken down. There are some low health bars as the Solar Flare doesn't quite find the mark. Mega Inferno Bomb FaZe survives because he's got so much health. It is kind of ridiculous. As now Shiu trying to get in there. FaZe so incredibly low. But he is going to be able to survive, as now Faker gets into that backline. Lucid will be able to take him down, as it's a trade of mid laners. And Smash needs to be so careful. Handshake comes down as Korea gets in there.
Wait a minute.
Supreme Display of Talent comes down. Keria is also dead as the bailout does not work. And it's a double for Smash, as FaZe managed to pick up the other one on the other side. He's now closing in on the last remaining inhibitor. T1, even without Baron, with the fact that they have super minions parading down 2 of the lanes, so hard for D+ here to defend. Even if they are able to deal with the minion wave, backdoor bonus not really helping out here as Pays. Oh my god, Lucid just taking so much damage there. As this Kalista with 6 items complete is so difficult to deal with just because level 16 and a massive health bar. He's super tanky. As all right now, Doran roaming on over, Faker in here as well as there's the dominance popped from Shiu. Let's see whether he can keep himself alive as he's put inside the bouncy castle and will just be rendered to death. Carrier so incredibly low, and Lucid now having to deal with the Ragnarok, and Olaf getting his revenge after the early game. Smash is wiped out, and T1, after being down 9,000 gold, they will take down these Nexus turrets and book a date with Homo Life Esports tomorrow, performing exactly what Hanwha did against D+ yesterday. Oh my goodness, and this time being able to complete the reverse sweep.
The reverse sweep comes through here for T1. They were unable to prevent the reverse sweep yesterday. D+ were unable to complete that 5th game as they were looking for the reverse sweep themselves. And this time around, it was a good start for D+. It almost looked like they had won with the impossible draft, but one loss in the team fight, one single mistake on that bottom lane towards the Otacon, and T1 take it back, and Pays is unkillable.
What an incredible performance out of Pays, man.
Smash, I don't think he could have played better, to be honest. He hit everything he really needed to when it came to those team fights. In the last fight, he was able to avoid the Renata ultimate. He just was overwhelmed. His team was overwhelmed by all the tanky members here. I don't think he was given a great chance in this draft, and yet still defying my expectations. D+ almost won this game. Absolutely crazy. But once the sun set on this composition, the late game Kalista